Assalamualaikum and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our headlines for tonight. Sarawak ventures into the carbon market arena, plus SAFERI Ali assumes role of Sarawak's new Attorney General. And in world news, death toll from Brazil's cyclone rises to 36. It's me, Yusuf Shukri, for TVS Nightline. Let us begin. Top of the hour, the death toll from heavy rains in southern Brazil rose to 36 on Wednesday as a tropical cyclone battered and soaked the region, flooding homes and swelling rivers. Videos obtained by Reuters showed rising water flooding streets and rivers and submerging houses in the small town of Mucum in Rio Grande do Sul state. Nearby cities such as Lajeado and Roca sales were also hit severely.
Rain stopped on Tuesday, but weather forecaster Climate Tempo forecast more on Wednesday and Thursday before showers dissipate by Sunday, with the state still on alert for floods. The Rio Grande do Sul floods are just the latest recent natural disasters in Brazil. More than 50 people were killed in Sao Paulo state this year after massive downpours caused landslides and floodings. The colonial-era city of Petrópolis, near Rio de Janeiro and Bahia State, has suffered similar disasters, as well as Santa Catarina, a state neighboring Rio Grande do Sul, where an additional victim was confirmed on Tuesday. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva said he had spoken to Rio Grande do Sul Governor Eduardo Leite to offer the federal government's full support. Lula sent 2 ministers to oversee search and rescue efforts and said Vice President Geraldo Alckmin would also be on standby to travel to the hard-hit Rio Grande do Sul state, home to about 11 million people.
And Sarawak has undeniably distinguished itself as a standout exemplar in the carbon market sector, despite it being relatively new. Head of Bursa Malaysia Carbon Exchange Market Operations, Dr. Wei Ni Chin, commended the region's remarkable strides in the field, highlighting its remarkable and assertive growth trajectory. She added it is gratifying to observe Sarawak's leading position in the Malaysian carbon market, which is miles ahead of all other states.
Dr. Wei Ni pointed to Sarawak's substantial forest that expands, which presents significant prospects within the realm of carbon trading. The state has also amended their land codes as well as their forest ordinance.
And I think the Premier is really ahead of the game when he actually raised the state for a world that is going to be depending on less on hydrocarbon as sales, but more on the law and the clean energy fund. So this is where the sales of carbon credit can help the state government and also the nation to transit and help us to achieve our NDC commitment. In terms of the carbon capture opportunities, there are also opportunities for generating carbon credits.
She was met by TVS at the Sustainability and Renewable Energy Forum SAREF 3.0 at the Borneo Convention Center, Kuching on Thursday. In regards to the carbon market, Dr. Wei Ni explained that it operates as a reward-based system designed to incentivize entities that actively reduce their emissions.
The voluntary carbon market space is actually a reward-based system whereby if a project developer implements a carbon project that reduces emissions from entering into the atmosphere, that emissions reduction can be monetized through the sales of carbon credit. So these are some ways which companies can help to meet their climate obligations through the purchase of carbon credits.
In March this year, Bursa Malaysia's subsidiary, the Bursa Carbon Exchange, held the country's first carbon credit auction, which is aimed at offsetting emission footprint from corporate sectors.
Datuk SAFERI Ali has assumed the role of Sarawak's Attorney General, succeeding Datuk Seri Talat Mahmud Abdul Rashid starting today, September 7th. His previous position as the Deputy Attorney General of Sarawak will transition to Senior Advocate Datuk John Wayne Chamberlain Sirao.
The official handover of duties and responsibilities took place at Wisma Bapa Malaysia, with State Secretary Dato' Amar Muhammad Abu Bakar Marzuki presiding over the ceremony. Meanwhile, Muhammad Abu Bakar expressed his appreciation for Talat's dedicated service and commitment during his tenure as the Attorney General of Sarawak and hopes that SAFERI would effectively and dutifully carry out the responsibilities now bestowed upon him.
On to our next news, Sarawak United National Youth Organization, or SABERKAS, today held its third series of the Economic Digital Empowerment Workshop in an effort to fulfill the Sarawak government's efforts towards digitalization. Vice President of SABERKAS, Dennis Ngau, said the program aims to equip Sarawakian youths with the skills and knowledge on the digital economy in Sarawak.
Selaras dengan hasrat YB Premier Sarawak untuk melihat negeri Sarawak sebagai negeri peneraju kepada pembangunan dan amalan kerja secara digital dalam banyak perkara, termasuklah dalam bidang berteraskan dengan ekonomi terbaharu khasnya dalam menjadikan Sarawak maju 2030. Kalau kita ingat, sebaik saja yang nama Bapak Premier dilantik sebagai ketua negeri kita pada 2017. Beliau terus menekankan betapa pentingnya digital ekonomi dan sebagainya.
He said this at the postponement ceremony of the third series of SABERKAS Economic Digital Empowerment Workshop earlier today. He was representing Sarawak's Minister of Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts, Dr. Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, who is also the president of SABERKAS. During the event, he urged the youth to get actively involved with SABERKAS and gain fruitful experiences, which will indirectly foster friendship among the members of diverse backgrounds.
Sebab di sini kita akan bersama dengan rakan-rakan berlatar berbagai-bagai jenis latar belakang, kefahaman politik, agama, suku kaum dan sebagainya. So it is a very good platform for you to be part of SABERKAS. SABERKAS berkaitan bidang digital ekonomi dan yang semakin berkembang, pesat dan menerangi kehidupan manusia hari ini dan akan datang.
At the same time, he also encouraged the youth of today to seize the opportunity to further their education, given that the Sarawak government has provided various educational facilities and institutions for Sarawakians.
The proposal to revive direct flights between Miri and Manila will re-establish economic relations, especially within the tourism industry in the Southeast Asia region. Chairman of Sarawak Tourism Board, STB, Dennis Ngau, said the restoration will not only benefit the community in Miri, but Sarawakians in general.
Kita memang sangat memerlukan konektiviti langsung ataupun direct daripada negara-negara jiran kita sebagai laluan perhubungan dan memudahkan pergerakan bukan sahaja bidang pelancongan itu, malahan kepada industri-industri lain juga yang boleh berkembang.
He added, the development of the tourism sector will certainly benefit local tourism industry players, including the hotel industry, handicraft, transportation and more. Dennis was commenting on the proposal made by Sarawak Minister of Transportation, Dr. Sri Lee Kim Shin, to restore direct flights between Miri and Manila. Lee said, this strategic endeavour forms a pivotal part of Sarawak's plan to strengthen land, air and sea linkages to foster economic growth and tourism within the region.
No hotspots were detected on Thursday, September 7th. The Director of Meteorology Sarawak, Khairul Najib Ibrahim, said that based on this data, the occurrence of haze is very low for the next 2 days.
Buat masa ini, mengikut laporan dari ASEAN Specialized Meteorological Center, AANC, tiada titik panas dikesan di Sarawak, Sabah dan Kalimantan pada hari ini 7 September 2023. Oleh yang demikian, walaupun angin dari arah tenggara, terutamanya di bahagian barat Sarawak, tiada impak jerebu bakal dialami dalam masa sehari dua ini. Tambahan pula keadaan yang agak lembap di seluruh Sarawak sejak kebelakangan ini. Dari segi cuaca, pihak Met menjangkakan ribut petir dijangka berlaku di 1-2 tempat di seluruh bahagian di Sarawak pada 3 hingga 4 hari akan datang.
Coming out right after the break, the King and Queen charmed by diverse cultures of Sabah through Kembara Borneo Sabah and protests in Niger in Nightline's Global News. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Sabah needs political stability and strong unity among its people to ensure the state's progress. Yang Di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah said this was crucial for a large state like Sabah, without which it would be difficult to realise its development.
Al-Sultan Abdullah said during the Kembara Kenali Borneo expedition in the state, he had asked Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Aziza Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria to document the experience. During the journey, he heard the voices of the people of Sabah, especially regarding the progress of the state.
Panjang perjalanan kecantikan bukit ini, taman ini, ladang ini, kita perhati dengan sebaik, semua ada dalam buku kita. Dan ada juga komplain yang kita terpaksa tulis juga, dan antaranya dengan izin yang amat berhormat, bukan nak komplain di sini. Mudah-mudahan daripada susulan daripada lawatan saya ini, insya-Allah saya akan beri pandangan saya dan harap dapat diusahakan, khususnya berkaitan jalan raya, bekalan elektrik, bekalan air.
Meanwhile, Al-Sultan Abdullah also urged the parties involved to look into the bridge issue at Sungai Liwagu. According to His Majesty, Sungai Liwagu is a beautiful area. However, the bridge was split in two, making it difficult for villagers to get across. His Majesty said the expedition also gave him an opportunity to personally inspect the development of the Pan-Borneo Highway. Apart from providing better connectivity to Sabahans, the highway would open up more opportunities for the development of high-impact infrastructure projects along the route.
Saya harap kerajaan harus beri tumpuan kerana apabila terbina highway Pan Borneo ini, saya percaya Sabah will be a different state, will be a game changer for Sabah, dan ini akan memberi sedikit kesejahteraan kepada mereka-mereka yang tinggal di kawasan pedalaman, dan mudah-mudahan lebih kawasan-kawasan pedalaman dapat dimaju dengan lebih pantas.
His Majesty said this at the Sabah State Government Banquet held in conjunction with the Kembali Kenali Borneo expedition at the Sabah International Convention Centre on Wednesday night. Among other notable attendees were the Yang di-Pertua Sabah, Tun Juha Mahirudin, Deputy Prime Minister Dato' Sri Fadila Yusof, Sabah Chief Minister Dato' Sri Haji Jinor, and Sabah State Assembly Speaker Dato' Sri Kadzim Haji M. Yahya. Meanwhile, the king said the expedition had given him the opportunity to get up close with the people of Sabah and Sarawak, especially those living in the countryside. Sharing some light moments along the trip, Al Sultan Abdullah said he was moved by the friendliness and hospitality of Sabahans.
Saya hanya dijemput hadir di Kota Kinabalu saja dan di Kuching saja. Luar pada Kota Kinabalu atau Kuching, saya tak pernah jejak bumi luar pada Kota Kinabalu. Jadi saya fikir umur pun sudah meningkat. Saya cuba nak melihat sendiri dengan mata kasar saya bersama dengan keluarga saya, nak tengok keadaan, nak kenal juga rakyat di Sabah, di seluruh pelosok, di luar daripada Kota Kinabalu. Anak muda panggil saya Pakcik Agong. Pakcik Agong. Ada juga panggil Abang Agong. Ada juga panggil Gong. Orang-orang dia menghiburkan saya juga. Dan juga kepada Raja Permaisuri, Datin Permaisuri. Ada juga pujian-pujian pada isteri saya. Oh, cantik sekali.
The King and Queen are currently on the Kembali Kenali Borneo expedition from September 3rd to 13th, travelling a total of 2,154 kilometres from Tawau, Sabah to Teluk Melano, Sarawak, across the Pan-Borneo Highway that connects Sabah, Sarawak and Brunei.
And our next update. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim wants further cooperation with the US, focusing on deeper economic collaboration through the Trade and Investment Framework Agreement and broaden economic engagement. He emphasized the importance of supporting foreign direct investment, internationalizing micro, small and medium enterprises, promoting green growth for climate sustainability and ensuring efficient resource use and food security.
In the realm of digitalization, Anwar encouraged the US to collaborate with ASEAN to advance digital transformation in the region, encompassing digital infrastructure connectivity, inclusion, 5G, as well as digital data policy and regulation. On energy, Anwar said ASEAN has set a goal to generate 23% of primary energy from renewables by 2025 and seeks support from the US to achieve this target. Malaysia also welcomed the US Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, particularly the summit leaders' statement on advancing the ASEAN outlook on the Indo-Pacific during this summit.
And work together to protect attempts to frustrate the emergence of competent digital technology and transformation within the region.
During the ASEAN-Canada summit attended by Justin Trudeau, Anwar said that Canada has been a highly dependable ally, stating that Trudeau is well aware of ASEAN's stance, along with that of his Western colleagues.
I would suggest that the collaboration should extend beyond that arrangement towards a more effective Asian monetary mechanism in the light of the challenges, particularly the dependence on the dollar, which has affected the economies in the region.
He said this at the 43rd ASEAN Summit in Jakarta, Indonesia on Wednesday.
The Ministry of Health MOH expects the target ratio of 1 organ donor per million population to be achieved in the near future. Health Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa said there were currently over 370,000 organ donation pledges, of which more than 22,200 were registered this year.
Ratio yang kita ada sekarang ni adalah 0.7 ya. Jadi kita mensasarkan insya-Allah kalau semakin ramai yang mendermakan ataupun berikrar untuk menderma organ ini.
Speaking to the media after officiating the 2023 National Organ Donation Awareness Week on Thursday, Dr. Zaliha said the rate of organ donation among Malaysians was still among the 10 lowest in the world.
Berdasarkan statistik pendermaan organ oleh Pusat Sumber Transplant Nasional NTRC Kuala Lumpur, kita telah menunjukkan bahawa seramai 10,747 orang pesakit yang berada dalam senarai menunggu organ baru sehingga Julai 2023, dan jumlah penderma organ pula itu jumlah penderma organ ni dia ada dua jenis ya, yang untuk cadaveric sejak 1976 hingga 31 Julai 2023 ini hanyalah seramai 845 orang.
Dr. Zaliha said various efforts are being implemented to raise awareness about the importance of organ donation, including through sermons at mosque, as they were still Muslims who were not comfortable with organ donation.
On world news, the remnants of Typhoon Haikui drenched southern China for a third day since making landfall, and airports in Guangdong province cancelled hundreds of flights due to stormy weather on Thursday. Although storm clouds moved westward towards Guangdong, one of the country's richest provinces, more downpours were still forecast for the southeastern province of Fujian, where economic losses had reached 3.2 billion ringgit.
In Guangdong's capital, Guangzhou, Baiyun Airport, one of the busiest in China, has cancelled 316 flights and delayed 271, according to flight tracking app Flightmaster. Torrential rain reportedly led to rivers overflowing in the Guangdong town Tangxi, and some villages suffer severe waterlogging. According to state media, over 350 people, including elderly, women and children, were relocated from low-lying areas. The China Meteorological Administration forecast rainstorms in central and eastern Guangdong, the southern part of Jiangxi Province, southern areas in Hunan Province, the northeastern areas of the Guangxi region, and the central part of the island of Hainan. Meanwhile, northern parts of Guangdong and the southeastern coast of the province were expected to be hit harder. Authorities issued warnings of mountain torrents and geological disasters for the cities of Guilin, Laibin, Guigang, and Wuzhou. Flooding in parts of Fujian province during the past 2 days forced the evacuation of nearly 300,000 people and damaged more than 2,500 homes.
Hundreds of protesters gathered in Niger's capital, Niamey, on Thursday. They were protesting against the presence of French troops in the West African country, where the military ousted the elected president more than a month ago.
Along with hundreds of protesters, Nigerian singer Aissatou Ali Somaila also participated in the night-long demonstration and supported the protests with her songs. Niger was plunged into turmoil on July 26 when General Abdurrahmane Tichiani, a former commander of the Presidential Guard, led a military intervention that ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. After the coup, the junta government demanded that the French soldiers leave the country immediately. The French military warned it would respond if any renewed tension target its military and diplomatic facilities in Niger, which hosts around 1,500 French troops as part of a regional counter-insurgency force.
Wrapping up the Nightline, the main border between Afghanistan and Pakistan, Torkham, is now closed after security forces from both countries exchanged fire. Local residents reported the sound of gunfire by the main border and said that the people around the border area started fleeing once the shooting began. Security officials in the area said that the Taliban and Pakistan forces fired upon each other, but no casualties were reported so far. The main border has been closed for several times in recent years, including in February, when thousands of trucks filled with goods were stranded on each side of the border for days. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates, both locally and internationally, just a click away by heading on to our website at www.tvstv.my or by following us on our social media platforms. Your feedback matters. Our QR code is on the right top of the screen, so feel free to drop your suggestions there. And that's all the time I have for tonight's TVS Nightline. Once again, I'm Yusuf Shukri. Thank you for watching and good night.
Things